Welcome to Single Leg Parlay. This is the College Week 6 review. I don't know if you watched college football this weekend, but it was bananas. There's a lot to go through. We're going to talk briefly on our betting side and when we stink as gamblers this week, which means we're going to be hot next week. But I can't believe what I watched this weekend. But before we go any further, I got Al to the left of me, Andy to the right of me. I got a Busch Light in front of me. Let's drink a beer.
Cheers.
We're going to go through the results really quick. But before I do that, Al, how did you feel at 2:30 in the morning this morning?
I was really expecting to be upset that I stayed up, but I'm glad that I did.
Hell yeah. I love ACC After Dark, and that's way after dark. That shit is ACC tomorrow.
I can't believe I didn't bet Cal. That felt like so obvious. I think I even said it last week. It was like, going out west, late kick after an emotional, last-second win. That's a huge Miami letdown spot. But that didn't let anyone down.
Cal plus 13 felt so good.
I guess they let Miami bettors down, but they won outright, so that's good.
Yeah, they should not be allowed to schedule a team on the East Coast. That is a TV scheduling thing, too. That wasn't even Cal trying to play their home field advantage of hey, let's make them play at 11. What is TV doing? There was a lot of windows you could have played that game in at 7:30, 7 o'clock. Florida State does not need to be on ESPN. Versus Clemson. You can move that to any other channel.
Yeah, put that game at 10:30.
Yeah. On gas station TV.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know if you want to do recaps first, but there's so much about that game I want to talk about. Starting with the game day signs, because that was just glorious in its own right.
There were a bunch of good ones.
Cal Berkeley, fantastic place to host game day. I didn't even know that's where game day was until I started seeing the signs that people were sending. Some of my favorites were Woke versus Coke.
That was a very
what was another one was we only do lines of code or something like that. And then DEI versus DUI I thought was a really good one. That's funny.
You people are blocking the library.
I thought this was a protest.
Yeah.
It was a great environment. I'm surprised they showed up. I mean, they've been great on Twitter. I don't know if you saw the Woke Campbell thing when they were going to Tallahassee. They were trolling Florida State very hard.
They really lean into it, which is fun. It's people have thin skin about that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it's good to see some people with some light hearts about it. I'm sure those signs felt the hearts were heavy when the final whistle blew, but my brother actually lives out in California, and he went to the game with his kids, and he told me that a few weeks ago, and I totally forgot until after the game when he texted me a pic. But there was probably 3 different times watching that game where I was like, fuck this, I'm going to bed. I was like, if they don't get a touchdown here, I'm going to bed. If they don't at least hold them to a field goal here, I'm going to bed. All right, if they don't answer that with a touchdown, I'm going to bed. And then those things all happened, and I was like, all right, let me stick this thing out. Oh, and then at the end, Miami has the ball, or they're on defense. They just need to get a stop, and it's 3rd and long. And I see the quarterback scrambling, and I'm like, oh, hell yes. And then they, lay him out, and I'm like, sweet. They get the stop, no flags, bring out the punt unit. The quarterback's hurt. I'm like, okay, so, take the time, get the quarterback up off the field. And then all of a sudden they start talking about targeting, and they show the replay, and I'm like, fuck, that's textbook. In a dictionary, under the definition of targeting is this play. And I'm like, oh, God, that's going to be a first down, new set of downs. We need to get a stop to force a punt, and we're going to have, less than a minute to go, get a touchdown, if we even get the stop, right? And they review it, and I'm just, waiting for it. I'm like, all right, I'll go to bed. It's still, only 2 a.m. at this point. And they come back, and for whatever reason, the ref said it was not targeting. And I was like, okay, sweet. So it felt like a free life, who cares? Win or lose, the game should have already been over. And then Cam Ward went down and did what he did, scored a touchdown, passed to Arroyo, and I don't know, man. It's like Miami's got 6 million lives, and they just used them all in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they did. No, that Life Wallet or whatever NIL money it's clearly far-reaching. It's not just the players waking up to a bag. That was a good game. I couldn't stay up. I couldn't do it.
NSA, CIA, the president, all of them are involved in this cover-up, man.
But that was just one of the many games that happened this weekend. Let's break down the results. What do you say? For the pod best bets, we went 3-2. Nice, not too bad. All picks, not great. It's not either of the two gentlemen that are showing their faces right now. It was me. I'm the problem. It's me. So we went 24-30, which is 44%, not good. Al went 50%, 3-3. Tipped the dealer, had a good time. Danny went a little bit under that. I was 3-7. 30% is not going to get it done. I am 54% on the season. So I'm back kind of in the pocket, right, where I need to be in order to make some money to keep playing this game. But Andy, big winner this week, 11-9 at 55%, brings the record up to a nice round 50%. On the season, we were 50. I don't have the team records here, but we are doing better than those numbers by a wide margin. And we will get after it again this week with guaranteed winners. And we slide them right in your inbox when you subscribe to SingleLegParlor.com.
152 and 137 on the season.
Okay, that is
52.5%. So,
like
right at the big.
Yeah,
Right at the
just
big.
about at the big. Yeah.
Having lots of fun and not paying.
Having lots of fun, not tipping the dealer too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're enjoying the free cocktails and just tipping the dealer.
Yeah. So on our review podcast, we like to hand out awards, talk about things that are the most impressive, most suspect, how you were wrong, and give out a special award for the week. So let's start off with most impressive. Al, who do you got?
Yeah, I mean, was there ever any doubt it was going to be Vandy, right? Vandy knocking off Bama. I think the best thing about that, well, there's so many great things about it, right? But the second, my honorable mention is just Diego Pavia. Just that's it. That's the whole thought. This dude is good for at least one solid upset every year, and looks like he picked a really good time to have that. But then I also saw the Vandy announcers or whatever, the people in charge of the Jumbotron at Vandy Stadium, they played the clip from Nick Saban after they beat Bama. That was Nick Saban was like, the only easy place to win in the SEC is Vandy or something like that. That's great. Social media and the whole branding, troll jobs in sports, in football in particular, is just elite, top notch, chef's kiss.
It's really, really good. I'm going to go more into Diego Pavia in a little bit, but I agree with you 1,000%. It was an awesome game, and Vanderbilt was legitimately – it wasn't one of those games where they got lucky to win. They were the better team. Yeah. The numbers indicate.
I think Bama cut the lead to 2, and you're like, oh, this is happening. Bama's coming back. They're going to do the thing. And then I look up again, and Vandy's up by 2+ scores again. I'm like, oh shit, there's only a few minutes left.
Andy and I spent a lot of attention to that game and a game between Temple and UConn yesterday together, which was a lot of fun. That Temple UConn money line we were chasing was a good time.
It was so close. It was so close. So close.
Andy, who was most impressive to you?
So I'm going to give my most impressive award to Texas A&M, but really I'm giving it to us. And what I mean by that is we've been saying for the last couple of weeks that Missouri keeps winning, but they keep winning and looking really suspect. And this week, Texas A&M proved us right by just stomping Missouri into the ground. It was not close. I think they won by 31. And it could have been more if they hadn't taken their foot off the gas. So Texas A&M is most impressive for proving us to be correct and impressive.
Yeah, Mizzou's one of the teams where the team-wide talent level is such that they can't afford to have a bad week. Whereas a lot of these Power 5 schools have the talent to win a game, even if their top talent's not playing well. So, yeah, that showed his face for sure.
Agreed. And I must have beat this drum 5 times last time. When a ranked team goes on the road against an unranked team, and that ranked team is a dog, always bet the home team. I didn't follow my own advice in that game. I stayed the hell away from Michigan, Washington, and I feel like I'd made the right decision there because both circumstances came true. And as a rule of thumb, ranked team, unranked team, spread of less than 3, and the unranked home team is laying that 2.5 or 2, always hit that home team, the unranked team. Don't know why it works, but it works.
I don't know why those spreads are. I mean, obviously, I know why they are the way they are because, the books know that the ranked team is about to not be ranked, right?
Yeah.
Rat
line indeed. I got most impressive. SMU, right? I kind of was down on SMU before the season. Louisville played pretty well against Notre Dame the previous week. SMU just did it. They just took it to them, kind of beat them at their own game, which was odd, right? They played a very similar style. Lashley and Braum are kind of men of a similar cloth. So it's not surprising there, but they were better. Cannot remember the SMU quarterback. Jennings. Jennings looked awesome, especially with his legs. That mobility was the total difference in that ball game.
Yeah.
And
did he break like a 60-yard touchdown run or something?
Yeah, on 4th down and 1. It was sick.
Whoops.
It was not great for me laying 6 with Louisville, but that's why I was saying
that's why you're so impressed.
That is why. That's why I clearly know all of these things. And for the love of God, please watch Boise State play football, because if you haven't watched Ashton Jeanty, I feel like I said Luther Burden last year, and I said it a lot. I said Ollie Gordon last year, and I said it a lot. This year, I can't say Ashton Jeanty enough. He's fucking spectacular. He is going to be in New York as a Heisman candidate, and if he isn't, it's a damn shame. I don't think he'll win, but my word, the dude is on fire. Boise State looks like a wagon. They look like a damn wagon offensively.
It's a travesty that they don't ever play before like 8 p.m. Like I want to watch Boise State, and often I'm too tired to do so.
Understood. I think it's important for me to read Ashton Jeanty's stats really quick. He has 95 carries this year. On those 95 carries, he has gained 1,031 yards. That is an average of 11 yards a carry. Okay? I don't care if you're only playing Temple or UConn. That's a spectacular number. And you also played Oregon. And you played good teams in order to get that. You have 16 touchdowns. 16 touchdowns on 95 carries. That means when you tote the rock 6 times, you're getting a tutty. That is spectacular. The kid is amazing. I just wish more people knew how great Ashton Jeanty was.
Does he have receiving stats, or is he like strictly out of the backfield?
He has 6 receptions for 19 yards, so no. Okay. He just totes the rock. Man. And that stupid Maddox Madsen or whatever, that guy that we made fun of before the year, maybe pretty good. Yeah. Maybe that quarterback may be all right. So Boise State, you impressed the shit out of me. And you took it to Utah State early and often yesterday.
Yeah. That one was like out of hand early. I saw like a TikTok where a guy was like, oh, here's my bet, Ashton Jeanty under 186.5 yards rushing. And he's like sweating it. And I'm like, he's like showing clips. And I'm like, this is the second quarter. And then, and it's because he didn't play the second half at all. The dude hit this bet by like 2 yards because he didn't play the second half.
13 rushes in the game, 186 yards. So he increased his average because he averaged 14.3 and 3 tutties. That's a hell of a first
half of a game.
And he didn't play the second half. He's really spectacular.
That's incredible.
All right.
I just really like the idea of like someone like acting like a real smart, like sharp, and being like, "Yeah, I nailed this bet. Who else would have bet this?" And it's because the dude only played a half because the team like whooped the dog shit out of their opponent.
And it was a sweater. It was not like an easy.
Yeah.
You're sweating it in the second quarter.
Like if you had inside info that he was only going to play a half, like it's still not a good bet.
Yeah,
Like,
he's spectacular. He's super
Yeah.
impressive.
outrageous.
We talked about impressive. Let's talk about things that kind of sucked. Andy, I'm going to let you start off here. I like your pick.
Yeah, Tennessee. You talked about the Vandy Bama game, and we're saying that Vandy just went out there and won it. This was a game where it looked like neither team wanted to win. It was like, no, please, go ahead. You would take the win. No, after you, good sir. And Tennessee just did not look good against an Arkansas team that's, not great.
Mid-ass.
Yeah.
Mid-ass.
I like the idea that not only is like Tennessee just like anxious to get out of Fayetteville, but like Arkansas themselves are also like anxious to get out of Fayetteville. They're like, let's get this game over with. I got somewhere else to be.
Yeah.
I really thought Arkansas was playing like they just wanted the clock to run as fast as possible. Right? They're like, all right, let's just get the downs. Let's get this game over with. We're not going to win today. And then all of a sudden that strategy worked. They're like, what the fuck? Like, Bobby Petrino was fighting against himself not to call 25 passes.
Well, I think that's always been kind of the thing with Heupel, right? Is like you try to limit their possessions and keep them from getting in a rhythm. And if you can do that, then you can hang with them. And that's kind of what Arkansas did. It's just Tennessee didn't really – I guess Tennessee decided to get down in the slop and play that game too. And it didn't really pan out for them.
Sam Pittman's got like senioritis. He's already checked out. He knows he's gone. And then they come up and just be like, hey, by the way, you're going to be the valedictorian. And he's like, what? I haven't been paying attention for months.
Speech.
He just says cold beer like 5 times and then like falls over drunk. He's that meme of the guy in the trailer coming out with a glass of bourbon just falling down the staircase.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a messy game. I'm happy for Arkansas. I don't know what to do with Tennessee. Like, a lot of the things, like, I don't understand the result.
I feel like there are teams, well, obviously I'm like about 500 better in college football, historically my cup of tea, but every year it feels like there's a handful of teams that I just cannot get a read on, and Arkansas is like one of those teams where it's like they can smash the spread or get smashed by it, and like there's no in between, and there's like never a game where I'm comfortable betting on or against them.
They're exceptionally self-destructive. That game against Oklahoma State that they lost, they doubled them up in yardage and lost. And they were winning the whole game. I'm like, I don't know. I got nothing for you, Arkansas. They're their own worst enemy. They step on their own dicks, as my dad would say.
They're certainly not lit.
I really wish Texas hadn't joined the SEC this particular year, because otherwise we could have so much fun talking about, is the SEC overrated? You have Georgia, Bama, Tennessee, Ole Miss have all gone down in the last 2 weeks.
Buddy, we're only halfway through the season. There's plenty of time for Texas to lay an egg, okay?
This week could be a really fun one with the Red River coming up. Not saying they will, but this game always is a fuckery. It never goes.
What if the Gators beat Texas? Oh, God, that would be so fun. I got
nothing for that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I know. Obviously, there are much more worthy opponents that can take them down than the Gators, but it just, SEC schedule beats you up, man. This ain't the Big 12.
All right, Al, who was most suspect to you?
For me, so there's a handful of teams. Obviously, it's probably worth mentioning Bama since they lost to Vandy, but we already kind of talked about that. One thing, here's someone specifically on Bama that is pretty suspect to me. Malachi Moore. Did you guys see his reactions? He's a safety, starting senior safety for Bama. The dude tackled the quarterback and slammed him into the ground after he had tackled him. He kicked the ball from the line of scrimmage. He was throwing his mouthpiece. He was yelling at the coaches. They sent a guy in to take him out, and he was like, "Fuck you, get back. I'm staying out here." I think they had to burn a timeout. It's that dude went. That's the ultimate I'm taking my ball and going home, sore loser bullshit. I hate that kind of character. And whatever, character schmaracter, I think everyone deserves a pass, once or twice, but that's a handful of incidents in one game. It's dude, you lost to Vandy. just suck it up, deal with it. I don't know. Outside of that, USC losing to Minnesota. PJ Fleck going for it on 4th and an inch with under a minute to go. I actually like that call. I settling for a field goal there, you're automatically ceding like 30 yards of field position and keeping it to where a touchdown sends you home. So I really actually admire PJ Fleck for going for it there. He just scored that touchdown the most Big Ten way possible, running for it, I think 3 or 4 times from like the 1 yard line before finally getting in by like an inch on review. So yeah, USC losing to Minnesota, not a good look. And then also Michigan, just that's it. That's the whole story. Michigan.
So the one thing with Michigan is they did score 17 unanswered to end the game, I think. You can fact check me on that, but they benched Orji, or he got hurt. I don't know, but he wasn't playing. They brought in Tuttle, and the offense actually looked like they could move the ball a little bit. It was too little, too late, but maybe they found a little something to build on there at the end.
Was Orji their QB2, or was he the starter from day one?
So everybody thought he was going to be the starter day one,
but he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Right?
They were both taking snaps, but he was taking less. And then was it this week or last week they announced he was just going to be the guy, until he wasn't.
Until they're hanging 14 points every week, and you're like, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, he had an awful game yesterday. He was 3 of 7 passing, and he ran for 11 yards. Like, that combination ain't going to do it. If
they can suddenly start hanging 35 points a game, then yeah, maybe I'll put some faith in Michigan, but that doesn't seem like it's very close to happening.
No, and the stats are like overwhelmingly favorable to Washington yesterday. They had 315 passing yards to Michigan's 113. That's 202 yards, boys. That ain't gonna get it done in most circumstances.
Yeah. I do not think they have Ashton Genty in the backfield there.
Sure. Oh God, I wish. Actually, fuck.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All the Michigan men wish.
So I have a lot of things I got to cover because there were so many crazy things that happened. And my favorite is my final award. And Andy and I watched it together. Hilarious. But 3 things that were suspect this week. Guys, I think we may need to put an end to the auto fire of military unders, right? When you see 2 military teams, you automatically take the under. Army and Navy are throwing the ball.
Yeah.
RIP and rest in power to the idea of always taking Army and Navy unders because they're friggin' good on offense. And I am here for it.
I wonder what the total's going to be in that game when they play last week of the season.
67.
Like, if it's
that might be.
If it's in like the mid to upper 40s, I might tangle with the under again, even though. But I'm so proud of us for jumping out on that and saying I know this under has hit 31 times the past 31 times or whatever the hell it was, but we're taking the over and it fucking hit. It just feels so good. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. A couple of things. I'm going to keep it moving. Louisville. You were supposed to be the team that was the darling in the ACC after everything has been going on. Clemson looks bad against Georgia. Miami looks good. So you're the team that plays against Miami. Nah. You ain't got it. The last couple of weeks, you're looking a little bit suspect. I do expect you to improve, but not great. And UCF, all right. We need to take a step back. UCF was a 1-point dog going to Florida. I told someone yesterday that I think Florida is the team that will win this game, and I think they're different body types, totally different body types in the SEC and the Big 12. The said person laughed at me, and I feel like I was easily right.
I also like quote unquote Big 12. Like suddenly switching conferences doesn't suddenly make the guys on that roster a lot bigger. This is the AAC roster essentially. So yeah.
And while Gus is magic, I will give Gus Malzahn. He has the capability to be magical. You got to be great. You got to be big on defense too. So you got exposed versus Colorado. You got exposed yesterday at the Swamp, and the Swamp is a very tough place to play. And they were they were deep in the sauce yesterday, the crowd, so they were ready for it because they knew. We said this is a Billy Napier get fired game if he loses this one.
I will also say,
Mr.
I know
Two
you
Bits
mentioned.
came out, fired him up though.
Yeah, Mr. Two Bits did it, huh? Got
sure
the
did.
crowd rocking. They did not back down, that's for sure. The Magic you're talking, Gus has, the Orlando Magic is historically bad. So he might need to move that to a different town if he wants to rekindle the magic there. But,
That's true.
yeah.
All right. Let's take a moment and reflect on our poor decision making and where we really fucked up the audience and ourselves with a segment I like to call Boy Was I Wrong. Al, how are you wrong this week?
I wasn't off by that much. I think I kind of laid points with Mizzou, and they lost at 31.
Yeah.
I've had better picks. That's for sure.
Yeah, not great.
I was wrong.
Andy, how were you wrong this week?
So I took 2 touchdowns with Troy. I think a lot of us took that. Actually, it was last Thursday.
I would say
night.
I think everyone except me.
Yeah, yeah. But I made it my best bet of the week, I think, and they lost in spectacular fashion. They are bad, and I am sorry for having
It was what,
put
Texas
their
State they
name
played?
and best in the same sentence. They did. They played Texas State. They lost 38-17.
I think I actually was going to play Texas State, but I took it off because all you guys were on Troy.
So
but at least
I
I didn't tell you.
We didn't realize that the Troy quarterback died on the last play of the game, the previous game, and then it was like a 4-day turnaround. It makes a bit of a difference. So they
were tough to overcome that.
I was an idiot because I did Missouri, so Al and I were brothers in hands there. I chose Troy, so Andy and I were brothers in hands there. I also took Iowa here.
Can you raise? Yeah, you raised this with an Iowa.
Yeah, it was a real bad. Look, I was 3-7 last week, but most of my picks I would bet again because they were right on the precipice. The Iowa game really wasn't. I forgot about a simple fact. If Iowa just continued to play like Iowa and didn't try to go win the game, that we would have covered this number. But we decided to go win the game, and McNamara started throwing the ball, and that tight window quickly evaporated to dog shit because there were like a pick six. The ball was always in Ohio State's hand after that, and it was a disaster because I think it was a 7-3 game or a 3-0 game at halftime. It was really low scoring, and then they tried to go out and win it, and that was a mistake. So. My bad there, listeners. That was not the right decision. I clearly didn't read the game script very well.
I'm sure Kirk was so pissed about them going out and trying to win the game too, when they could have just as easily had, covered this spread admirably in a loss.
Like a gentleman one.
Yeah. What the hell is that? Showboating, trying to go win a game. What is this?
All right, let's give our special awards out for the week. Al, start us off, bud.
Yeah, I'm giving out the Hurricane Cam Ward to Cam Ward. I'm pretty sure I said that I hate this man.
You did.
And then also said that I love him.
You did.
Okay, so in a designed play, this man is magic. He can make immaculate throws. He can buy time like nobody. When a play breaks down, though, I swear, years come off my life. It's one play in particular. It was an interception. I don't think it was the pick six. It might have been the pick six. He had 5 seconds of a clean pocket, right? Then bought himself another 3 seconds by maneuvering around within that pocket. And then he's scrambling to the sideline. And it's he does the thing Josh Allen does where it's okay, the play's over, throw it away. But he waits until he's got to toe tap the sideline and throw it away a fraction of an inch from the white paint, And then he fucking throws a pick. And I'm dude, it's so much worse than just throwing an incomplete pass. You are so good. You can make great plays on 3rd and long, 4th and long. You don't have to force it every time. And if he ever learns that, he's going to be so good. But it's so frustrating. But then he goes and he fucking wins the game. 25-point comeback. So it's like, I can't really be pissed, but I'm still pissed. I don't know. I'm still coming to terms with it. It's an emotional hurricane within me.
Yeah. So Al, you said he's really good for like the first 4 or 5 seconds and then very disappointing. Sounds like all of us in bed.
I never get good. I'm always disappointed.
I'm sure the first 4 or 5 seconds are fine.
Yeah, before you get it in.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking shit.
Oh, you're bumbling around. Oh,
Andy, who's your award winner this week?
So I would like to welcome you all to my coach dealership. Come pick out your new coach. We've got a brand new model that is now available with heated seats, and that is the Sonny Dykes model.
Ooh.
Because I called this before the season. I don't know if any of you remember this, but Matt, you were like, they went to the national championship like a year and a half ago. And I was like, doesn't matter. They missed a bowl last year. They're going to miss a bowl this year. They're going to be bad. Seat's going to be hot. And guess what? It's heating up starting today. They lost to a Houston team that had scored 0 points 2 weeks in a row prior to playing them.
It had been.
They were offensively constipated.
It had been 9 quarters since they had scored. Yes.
And then Houston diarrhea points all over TCU.
Boy, game, I took the over, and that felt like the dumbest pick, and I almost got there. But I was expecting Houston to score 17 and TCU to score like 50. And I was – I'm sorry. I should apologize for that. That was very wrong. My whole read on that game was wrong. I know the close – I was close, but I was wrong. I was
for the wrong reasons?
Yeah, exactly. I was wrong for the wrong reasons for sure. I agree. Sonny Dykes, that shit's heating up.
Yeah.
I've been spending the past 2 minutes trying to think of a 4x4, 4-4 record kind of joke to your car sales pitch. And I haven't been able to land on anything, so I just had to say it.
All right, we'll keep brainstorming.
One of these days.
So I usually like to give out one award, but there's a few that I need to get out there. The Thank You for Your Service Award, guys. Army, Navy, 5-0, 5-0. And you know what the audacity? The Associated Press of America, neither one of them are ranked. Neither one of them are ranked.
It's just the mainstream media bias.
Michigan's lost 2 games, and they're ranked. 2 games, and they're ranked. But not Army, not Navy. Not those people who are protecting us, working every day. Now they're throwing the ball. They brought it in.
100-0.
Yeah. Second one goes to the Alabama hater of the century, and that's Diego Pavia. Do you know, last year, Diego Pavia at New Mexico State went on the road and beat Auburn. This year, he invited Alabama, the mighty Alabama, to his house and beat Alabama. Now he's at Vanderbilt. That dude is built.
He went and bought a house in their neighborhood.
Yeah,
like
he just shit on it.
He moved into their neighborhood specifically to do this. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 years ago too, he went to Liberty and beat Hugh Freeze there. So he beat Hugh Freeze 2 years in a row at 2 different schools.
He is literally built different. I hate when people use that. That dude is awesome. I fucking love it. I'm happy for Uncle Kill. I think this whole thing gives me warm and fuzzies inside, and I'm so happy. And the funniest moment of the week. In a game where the outcome was basically decided between South Carolina and Ole Miss, Dylan Stewart sacked Jackson Dart with 3 minutes left on the clock while they were down by 16. He proceeded to stand up and continuously fire a fake shotgun at him multiple times, and it was atrocious. I watched it 4 or 5 times. I made Andy rewatch it with me. I'm like, what the fuck did I watch in a quad box? One of the little boxes. He's just like, blah, 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 just like firing downward at Jackson Dart. It is singing. Watch this, Al. We're watching TV on the podcast. Watch this, Al. This is too funny.
No, I'm so excited.
Shut up.
He
thinks he's in The Wire.
I could not believe it. It was the single funniest thing I've ever seen in college football. I was dying laughing.
He's like pumping that thing so fast. I couldn't even tell that was actually what he was doing, but then in slow motion, you can definitely tell.
That's why we went back and watched it 4 times, because somebody was like, was he ejaculating on him? Was he... no, that's a shotgun.
So funny.
Going.
And Shane Beamer's face when he got hit with the unsportsmanlike conduct from it was all better. That is a moment in time that I just want to preserve. I wish
Was it like Jim Halpert, or was it like he went like apoplectic?
He went apoplectic. He was his face, like it was that white guy, like shade of red, but he was almost got like brown because he was so red and so heated up about it. It was hilarious. So Dylan Stewart, don't do that shit again. That shit seems very inappropriate. But my God, did I enjoy it? It was too fucking funny. That fake firing a shotgun like 12 times at the quarterback after he was sacked. Too funny.
Maybe it's a video game thing because, like, I mean, I'm sure it is, but like, it seems like so many people, both in college and pro, are going crazy with like the gun celebrations, and it's like this has like been a very clear rule for like a long time that these are like no-goes, but people are just like, nah, fuck it, I'm like going crazy, and then sometimes they get flagged and sometimes they don't, and you're like, but they're being, I don't know, I feel like people are being really blatant about it lately.
Yeah. That was as blatant as I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing clever, cute, funny. Like it was a lot.
Funny. There was something funny.
Sorry, it was hilarious for me. I was
as a unbiased observer, outside observer.
I rewound it and played it 5 different times for 4 different people.
Like, do you think he was gonna do it like twice as long, but it finally clicked and he's like, wait, I might get flagged for this, like on like the 8th pump, and he was like, wait, don't go for 10.
Too many.
You know, or like, or it just felt right. Like
he just kept firing. He kept firing. God, that was too funny. I was gonna play a game, but I think we're kind of at 35 minutes, so let's wrap this one up. What do you say, boys? Anything else you want to cover before we get out of here?
nope.
All right, so go to singleleggparlay.com. Ignore last week's results. Stink. New week, new results, new adventures. Let's go together. We're gonna get banned from YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. You don't have to pay. So there's a question that often comes up where people are like, hey, should we pledge money? I'm like, no, don't pledge money. We're not in any position to pledge. We do not want to take your money. We want to provide entertainment and an opportunity for you to make money. We're not taking money. We're making you make money. That's what we're here for. Subscribe. Let us slide into your inbox. Go to TikTok. Follow Andy. Do all
It
those.
only takes a second. Just let us slide in.
Let us slide in.
Just
5 seconds.
4 seconds.
4 seconds.
Just for the tips.
Yeah, just for the tips. But until next time, I got for Andy, for Al, for Matt. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the newly rebranded Single Leg Parlay podcast. Visit our website at www.singlelegparlay.com, where you can read more of our thoughts, as well as subscribing to our newsletter to have our picks delivered straight to your inbox each week. And don't forget to follow Single Leg Parlay on all of your favorite social media platforms. Cheers!